it's Ronnie, and welcome to 12 Days of Christmas, day 6. I hope I'm right. I'm going to scrap that picture of my grandson, Casey. He had just opened a couple of Christmas presents, and there is a DVD of Harry Potter there, and he had read the books, but my daughter got him the movie and another movie too. And you'd ask that kid what he wanted for Christmas, and he'd say, I don't know, surprise me. So you had to really think hard of which things you think he would like. And all the other kids, they'd be watching a commercial. I want that. Next commercial, I want that. And he never would. But he really liked the Harry Potter movies. And the books, of course. Anyway, this is a Bo Bunny piece of paper from 2010, and I bought it way back when. It was marked down to 50 cents, though. I see that on there. And it has Charles Dickens' book there, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That's the green one. I know that book is not that thick. But I love how they're stacked there. And he was a reader, still is a reader. He likes to read. And that would be something he would definitely have in his room, is a stack of books. Nothing that old looking, but it'd still be a stack of books. And I bought it way back when to use with this photo. I did not buy these dies way back then, no. The first ones I'm using, that pine branch, it's from Diamond Dies, and it was all by itself in a die, and it wasn't very much, maybe $5. But I've used it a lot over the years. I've had it quite a while now. And then that bow is Anna Griffin, and it came in a set of dies. But I thought it'd work really good on my layout, and I cut it out in a dark burgundy because at bottom, I cut out several of those branches because I wasn't sure how much I would want to have and how full I wanted it. But I'm only going to use, I think it's 2 on the side and 2 on the bottom, instead of using as many as I thought I was going to. And the bow's just going to be kind of tucked right there. And then I'm going to end up putting a little die cut. Well, it's a bigger die cut. It's not little, underneath that, just kind of tucking it. And here it has loops with holes there. And I thought about leaving them because, I have before, but I decided to fill them in instead. And it looked like it's a layered bowl there. And this is the die set that I showed second that I almost forgot to show y'all. I got it from Peachy Cheap a couple of years ago when I was on sick leave, and I didn't feel like doing cards at the time, and I got them to make cards with. And when I made the elf the other day and had to use a reindeer to make the boot, I was thinking, I know I have something with little elf feet besides the witch. I did think about the witch, but her feet were just way too big to use on my punch art that day. Anyway, I'd put it in the folder, 3-ring binder thing with the Anna Griffin thighs. And yeah, I pulled it out. And it's got the deer, and it's got some more deer antlers and a deer head and a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or something. It's got quite a few things together. And the funny thing is, this morning when I checked my email, there was a thing from Peachy Cheap, and they had another one similar that it was, I think it was Santa's Helpers or something, and it had 2 or 3 little elf looking guys on there. But I didn't order it. I didn't need another one. But I just thought it was interesting that the day I think of it, that I actually see it on Peachy Cheap too. Since this die came as like a silhouette, I had to cut different pieces off, and I didn't cut the whole thing of him out at one time. Like if it was just his feet I wanted, I just cut the feet. And his little stockings, his legs are not very long, and they're certainly not very thick. And I cut them out, and his stockings are like, it's a tone on tone of black and gray. And I thought, well, I'd go good with these black boots. And then his pants are green, and then I'm going to have his jacket also. I had a hard time finding what to use for the jacket, but I finally decided just on another shade of green, and it's textured where the pants aren't. So kind of show up between the two that they are two different pieces. And they're just a little bit shade of green difference, not a whole lot. And then when I am going to end up making a mistake, so I'm going to end up doing something I didn't plan on doing because of that mistake, but I could have redone it all and decided just to work with what I had instead. And I like how the little guy's kind of running and he's got his hat and his scarf flowing out behind him. And when I cut the hat out, it was like they had little starburst looking things all over it. And I thought, well, I'll punch one of them out for the hat later. Well, one of them got perfect on there. And I thought, well, make it a little more 3D. I'll still go ahead and punch one out. Well, I punched three, and none of them looked as good as the one that was already on the hat. So I just kind of inked it a little bit darker so it would look a little bit different and left it because, I mean, it was centered perfectly. Oh, I was talking about the ball on the end in case I just didn't mention that. I was looking at it while I was talking. I was thinking about it. And here's where I make my mistake with the brown. I was trying to guesstimate where to have his hair, and there's no little dotted lines or anything showing you. And I made it just a little bit short. So I'm going to make a band for his head, well, for his hat. And I'm going to go ahead and use the burgundy since I have it over in that ribbon and it's on that book on the bottom. And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and use the burgundy. I'm thinking now I should have like inked it in white on the edges and then it'd look even cuter. But I made a band to cover up my mess up on the hair. But the curl at the top looks good anyway. And if you all will notice, he's got something in his hand. It just looks like a plain box, but off screen, I didn't do it on screen because I was kind of guessing on if it was going to work. That very last paper layered underneath the photo, I fussy cut out one of its starburst things. It had bigger ones than the other one did. And I fussy cut one out and then I cut the bottom off and left a piece going straight down from it so I could put it on the box like a bow. And I'm going to put it in what is kind of like his hand. But first I'm going to cut the thumb out so he can hold it in his hand. The back part of the hand you won't see, but you will see the thumb. Oh, and there's where my camera cut out. It went off. I didn't hear it go off. And I looked up and seen it was off, and I thought, oh, I hope it's been playing most of this time. I would love for it to play the whole time, but I'm glad it only left out the part where I put his belt. Well, it's not a belt. Bottom part of burgundy on his little jacket, and I think I put the cuffs on his jacket too, and the gift, and I think that's all I did. Now, when I went to work on the trees, y'all seen me get rid of all those scraps earlier. I guess I got rid of the trunks on the trees because they were there. I seen them when I got the trees out, but they're not there no more. So I just decided to use a scrap and hand cut them myself. And I used craft paper and inked them. And I had it planned to put the three trees down there with the little guy. He kind of reminds me of Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. Anyway, they just looked too little. So I had fussy cut this one out for something else, and I decided to use it. And I am putting him on foam tape and the tree on foam tape. But then when I get up there with the other three trees and the deer, I am just gonna, well, I'm only gonna pop up one. I'm not gonna pop them up all of them because it's such tiny little pieces of foam tape. Whew, I was tired of doing it by then. Well, that and I wanted to see, I wanted to see how the camera thing was doing because it clicked off again somewhere in there. But I heard it that time. I don't know why I didn't hear it first time. Of course, the TV was going, so it could be, it was like a area where nobody was talking or something on the TV. I don't know. I did hear it the second time. But there's the 25th, and it had sparkly red around it. And I cut it off and put a green that matched the trees. But I didn't do it today. I mean, I had done it a different day. And that reindeer, his antlers were funny. One looked perfect, and then the other one looked like a little pipe sticking up there, and it wasn't very long, like he had knocked one of his antlers off. And I didn't want him with one antler, so I had to punch extra and put one behind the other. And I was going to use my brown cardstock, but I changed my mind and I used a brown marker instead. And I tried to make where a little bit of the craft would show, because on the antlers they look like they have darker places and lighter places, and that's what I wanted it to look like on this deer too. But here I am getting close to getting done, and I haven't mentioned all the names down there below. There's several doing the 12 days of Christmas with Kathy, and yeah, lots of inspiration down there. Be sure to check them out and go see what all they did today for inspiration. And like I said before, a couple of them's going ahead and doing something besides a layout. So you might find a way to do a decoration for Christmas. And I pulled out my old Maggie Holmes gold letters, and I will misspell perfect. I was going backwards, and I left the F out. However, on the very last photo, it will be spelled right, because I went back in there and fixed it and took a picture and made sure it was right. The paper got messed up just a tiny bit, and I took a marker to it, but I think it'll be okay. But that's it. That's my layout. And I really want to thank y'all so much for joining me. And if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. See how it's spelt wrong? And those of you who are, thank you so much. But yeah, there's my little guy with these. Boy, it went by quickly. I thought I had it longer than that. Anyway, there's the little tag in the bowl, and see how I layered it so there was ribbon in the background too. And yeah, that's my layout. And I hope y'all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.